This is the Jack Murphy Podcast. Here's your host, Jack Murphy.
Welcome to the Jack Murphy Podcast, broadcasting today from our northern studios in North Charlotte for hoping there might be snowflakes out there, but no, it's going to warm right up. It's going to be a beautiful day. I've got my bright, closest thing to Christmas I had. I see you've got on red. Alpha Trevette joins me from his home in Atlanta, Georgia, near the Chattahoochee River.
On the hooch.
Exciting day yesterday. We missed you. We had a fun interview yesterday.
I saw that it was a great interview. Good job.
She was a very interesting lady. We're going to have her back on to talk about more about that. What a weird case that is.
Yeah. It started weird and just kept getting weirder, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Really did. But anyway, a lot to talk about today. Busy day. I'm in full baking mode today, Alpha. I've got several batches of dough going. I started early this morning. I've got a long choir practice today for tomorrow night's Christmas Eve. Just busy time here at the Murph House, I'll tell you.
So what's on the menu? There's cookies, cakes, what else? Pies?
Actually, we have, I have fruited challah bread, where you wrap the strands together. Yeah. That with fruit in it, and some sourdough loaves as well. So just the sourdough takes so long to do, to proof it.
Yeah. That takes a long time to process. I mean, you got to make sure everything gets fermented and all the dough rises and then all that stuff.
Exactly.
It's a time-consuming process.
Exactly. By the way, I don't know if you saw this yesterday, but I asked the audience, I told them you weren't there, and I was thinking about a Christmas present for you, and I needed a color selection and a size, and they all came back with small blue. Small blue for your Christmas present. I don't know if you saw it, but here it is. Here's what I'm getting right here. Just so you know, this is what it'll be.
Hey guys, never tuck your shirt in again. You can buy these polo onesies. Are you tired of tucking your shirt in?
Yeah, I am.
Stuff your nuts in this diaper in the bottom and throw on some pants.
Well, I mean,
small blue.
It may not be small everywhere. I'm just saying,
Small blue is the message that we got for most of the listeners. All right, there's another crazy. I hate to do this at the holidays, but there's another kind of a weird case out there. My good friend John Carter called me back. I guess this was back in either late spring, early summer, and he said, "Hey, did you see the story about the empty fishing boat they found offshore?" I said, "Yeah, it's kind of weird. This guy from Charlotte had gone out on a center console boat fishing, which he often did, towed his boat down there. Anyway, all they found was the boat, just going around in circles. And, you assume he fell off the boat somehow and didn't have a life preserver on, and he was fishing alone, and they never did find him. And John said, guess what? He was my landscaper.
Oh,
he was
wow.
He was a landscape contractor, and, John didn't know it was him at first. He said, my grass got long, and checked into it and found that it was him. This case, I think, is very similar. This happened down in Florida. This started on the 19th when a man and his nephew left Fort Myers before sunrise on a fishing trip supposed to be routine. And they were same-day trip, fishing familiar waters. This was a really nice boat. It was like either a triple or a quad engine center coal. We're talking $300,000-$400,000 boat. But anyway, Randall Spivey, 57, and his nephew Brandon, 33, were aboard this 42-foot Freeman, which is a really, really nice boat. And they just found the empty boat cruising around out in the ocean. No guys on it. A lot of speculation. And I guess a lot of people with boats went out into the area. The Coast Guard started doing searches and everything. But, you don't know how long they'd been in the water. And this time of the year, the water's, it's not frigid or anything, but it's cool. And you don't realize how quickly you can get hypothermia.
Right.
Being in the open ocean. And, it may have been something like one of them fell out and maybe hit his head, was incapacitated. The other one jumped in to try to save him, and the boat floated away, or maybe they hit a rogue wave and were both who knows? But just a real mystery, real sad thing to happen right here at Christmas time. Do you fish?
I don't. When I lived in Tampa for a while, and I would fish some out on the bay, but it never became a big thing for me. But the thing about situations like this, there's always all sorts of speculation. I'm not saying there is in this case, but there may be of guys who were in something nefarious, or
from
maybe
from all indications that wasn't the case.
Yeah,
they were real boring, normal people. And then some people said, "Oh, maybe it was piracy." Well, if it was, they'd have taken the boat. You might have found, a couple of bodies out there, but not the boat. But it doesn't look this way. But listen, as a man of the sea myself, Alpha, who has spent many an hour offshore against raging wave and wind, fighting the currents, trying to come up with deep sea gold to eat the fish of the sea, it can get really nasty out there. I mean, I've been out there when I lived in California. I fished a lot. And I have here in North Carolina and in Florida, and I have spent days on the water where I was just like, Lord, please let me be home, because you get cold, you get wet, the water is rough, the waves are you're just getting beat to death out there, and you're not catching any fish.
And
those are the worst.
Nothing worse than being seasick, which I have been.
Yeah, I don't get seasick, so that never's been a problem for me. Like I took my, I don't know, 9 years ago. I was still living in California. My daughter and her then boyfriend, soon to be fiance, came out. I took them out on it's a boat that I'd been on many times before, the San Diego. She leaves at 11 o'clock at night and goes out to the tuna grounds, which, depending on how close the tuna come to shore that year, but we went out probably 25, 30 miles. So you leave at 11 at night, you start fishing at daylight. And my daughter was one of the few people on the boat who caught tuna that day. She caught 2. And her poor boyfriend, Taylor, he puked all day long. And I was just kind of laughing at him, because if you're not sick, it's nothing you can do for them. And they're not going to turn the boat around. And he had taken the Dramamine or whatever, and my daughter didn't get sick, and it was strange.
I was on Facebook the other day. I saw this post. Someone said, "How would you feel if your daughter brought home a black man?" It's like, what is this, 1950? No, it's 2025, pal. My daughter is a black man, okay?
So, some good news today. Just read this morning about the economy. Did you see this, Alpha?
Yep, apparently GDP is up more than anticipated.
Yeah. U.S. gross domestic product up 4.3% at an annual rate in the third quarter, which would represent, prior to the inflation adjustment, the economy grew at 8.2%, the highest it's been in ages. So, hopefully these numbers won't have to be revised down the way they were during the Biden administration every single time, and we get some real results here.
Well, they could be revised upward, because starting in the next quarter, of course, there will be pretty large tax refunds, because people are not having to pay tax on their Social Security or on tips or on overtime. So there is the potential of a huge jump for the first quarter of 26.
And I just saw last night that they've collected $200 billion in tariff money.
Right.
Which is just awesome.
Was there ever a time that you had to use karate to defend yourself or another person?
Yes. This one time at the supermarket, this girl was getting robbed by a big guy. And the noble thing to do was to stop him to save her.
What was...
We have another update on a murder case that we've carried here on the podcast before, this one involving the minister down in Myrtle Beach. This was a young guy who was a pastor of one of these large evangelical churches in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And his wife went missing. His estranged 30-year-old wife went missing for more than a year before she committed suicide. And a federal grand jury returned a 2-count indictment against Paul Miller, 46, her husband, for cyber stalking her and making false statements to federal investigators during their probe into her death. Mm-hmm. Now, when this all came out, I don't know if you remember, but people were protesting in front of the church, marching in front of the church, and he was still trying to maintain his job as the preacher. But beginning in November of 22, he sent unwanted and harassing communications to his estranged wife right up until her death in April of 24. He posted nude photos of his wife online without her consent. What kind of pastor takes nude photos of his wife and puts them on the internet? It's not a real pastor.
No.
He put tracking devices on her car. This guy sounds like a real loser. You know, obsessive kind of a thing. He would contact her by text and email up to 50 times a day. When did he have time to work on his work
his
for
sermons.
the Lord?
Right, sure.
Exactly. She was found dead at a park in Robeson County, North Carolina last April following a haunting 911 call.
What was the nature of her death? Did they say that?
She committed suicide.
Right, but did take pills?
I don't know.
Women normally don't shoot themselves.
I don't know.
That's not a thing women
doesn't
do.
say in this article. I didn't.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw that, I really didn't want to know anymore. But it doesn't say in this particular article what happened.
How many genders are there?
It's a spectrum, so like a lot.
I'm not saying there's a pattern, but it looks to me like there's a pattern, Alpha, of trans people that are transitioning, killing people.
It's happened again?
Rob Reiner, his son dabbled with that and was taking the drugs and the trans drugs and other drugs. And by the way, I'm reading now that he not only stabbed them, but they may have been decapitated.
Oh, boy. Well, it did say his throat was cut, but that's the last I heard.
Then I read some more that it was so bad that they were practically decapitated.
Oh, gee.
Post stabbing them to death. Even your dog doesn't like the sound of that.
No, they don't. They're over here wrestling now, the two of them. Attaboy.
Are your dogs transitioning, by the way? If they are, keep your eye on them.
Pretty sure they're not. I mean, they don't have anything to transition to because
everything's gone already.
The boyhood is gone. So
you mutilate. In other words, you mutilated your dogs when they were young, which is what we're trying to get people to stop doing.
Which if the administration has its way, will now be a felony. So except for dogs.
So you could go to prison if the Humane Society ever gets involved in this.
Well, now there is also that move to make sure that pets are counted as part of the family. And so if I'm no longer allowed to spay or neuter my dog or cat, things could get a little crazy.
Have you seen the video? There's one of these guys who goes around to out in public spaces and college campuses, and he asks questions, and then he'll have a follow-up question that's totally related to the first question, but the people have a totally different opinion of it. Example of that is he's on a college campus somewhere, and there's a couple of young female students and a male student to come by, and he goes, "Pardon me," he goes, we're having a petition signing here for animals, and you just want to know if you might be interested in signing. They go, "Yes, what is it?" And he goes, Well, apparently a lot of these puppy mills, they breed these dogs and they find out that the puppies aren't going to be the right color that they want. And so they abort the puppies. And we're trying to get a law started so they have to stop. They said, absolutely. And they sign it. And he goes, I also have a, I also have another thing we're trying to get signed where people stop doing that to real children. And they went, no, F you.
Yeah.
And they walk off.
Yeah. It's
Totally different response. The puppies, they want to save. The children, no.
Yeah.
They don't care anything about it.
Yeah. My body, my choice. Yeah. I got it.
But out in Utah, there's a transgender murderer out in Utah, Maya Bailey, who's a man, by the way. But he got 25 years in prison. Let me see who he killed. I believe he killed his grandparent. He killed his parents. He shot them both in the head multiple times. That seems to be the way they do it. They either cut their heads off or they shoot them in the head. Several times. Let me see how many times it says here. The 30-year-old transgender man who legally changed his name to Maya murdered his elderly parents, Joseph and Gail Bailey, according to the St. George News. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, he winds up getting 25 years to life in prison, and he went back before the judge recently to try to get his sentence changed, to tell the judge that he had converted to Islam. Well, he'll fit right in.
Oh, yeah. He'll
fit right in, everything but the trans part.
Yeah.
The cutting heads off or shooting people in the head that aren't Muslims. He'll fit right in. But when they find out that she is a he, probably not going to go very well.
The sentence should be that they would send him to a Muslim country. So he would actually have his punishment meted out very quickly.
Yeah. So anyway, here's a photo of him.
Oh, okay.
There you go. He must have had some pretty good surgery and whatnot.
Well, he had to be pretty feminine to begin with.
Yeah. Also told the judge that he had been diagnosed with ADHD, OCD, anxiety, depression. Well, hell, we've all got that. Just deal with it, right? Have a drink, have some coffee, go work out. You'll feel better.
Don't cut your parents' heads off.
No, you don't have to change to a woman.
Yeah.
Just drink some coffee, have a drink, smoke a cigarette if you need to.
Go get some exercise. Take a walk in the woods.
Do something, but don't shoot people in the head. Don't cut their head off. Don't cut your penis off. You can wear one of those onesies like I'm getting alpha. If that makes you feel more feminine, but
I can't wait to model it for you.
Other podcasts.
There's still tomorrow. Don't give up. Never give up. No, no, no. I won't give up.
The Jack Murphy Podcast. The Jack Murphy Podcast. Real power.
Being that tomorrow is Christmas Eve, I thought, people are going to be celebrating the joy of the birth of the Christ child all over the world, Alpha. Mm-hmm. And I thought it might be good because you know how progressive I am. I'm on the TikTok and all that.
You are.
I'm a free-thinking man. And I thought today for our Christmas tune that we'd go to Germany and listen to how the Germans sing the Christmas songs over there.
Schlittenfahrt, Glocken klingen hell. Wenn wir durch den Winter fahren, Mädchen laufen schnell.
Go, Schlittenfahrt, Schlittenfahrt, Schlittenfahrt. Apparently, Schlittenfahrt is jingle bells in German. I don't know if you noticed that, but it is. Schlittenfahrt.
I was over there. I was in Switzerland in 1976, and
right.
apparently the word for trip or travel is fart. And so they had,
Really?
they had pamphlets everywhere that had Fart Plan 76. And I thought, wow, it's a pretty organized situation they have here.
I'll be going on the long fart.
I'll be farting over
and
the
I'm going
Alps.
to have very long, very tiring fart. These things are getting so outrageous to me that I just cannot believe that there are actually people that are going in these churches and partaking in these satanic worship. That's really the only way to describe it. I mean, I can't imagine anybody who has a tiny bit of Christianity or tiny bit of knowledge about the Bible or anything about God would go to one of these churches. But not only are these churches out there, but they're flourishing. They're absolutely flourishing. This is a Christmas nativity play at a queer Lutheran church. And they break they take the Lord's name in vain right from the get-go, but they've changed the nativity scene to 2 lesbians, is what they've done. I mean, I'm kind of shocked that the earth didn't open up and swallow the whole building with everybody in it at once, or a giant lightning bolt, or a sulfuric fire from the heavens hasn't come down and burned them up while they're doing this. This is outrageous. Watch this.
I'm the pregnant one here. It's my life on the line. It's not just... Ow, what the... God damn it.
Would you believe someone if they told you they had been divinely impregnated?
No.
We had agreed to be monogamous. I thought we were both happy, and then suddenly Mary's pregnant? I mean, obviously, kid's not mine.
Andy.
Here, have the last granola bar.
I don't want a granola bar. Please, just let me be.
Why won't you let me help you?
Why won't you leave me alone? You're not even a part of this.
I'm not? So you'd be fine if I just left you here, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would. Go ahead. Leave.
I mean, I will if you want me to.
I want you to.
Okay, well, here I go.
Go ahead.
Okay, fuck this!
I knew you couldn't do it.
Okay, fine, maybe I don't want to leave you alone. What's the problem with that, huh?
It's not really about me, though, is it?
What do you mean?
You really changed your tune when you realized I wasn't lying and the baby really was, you know, the Messiah or whatever.
No, I didn't.
Oh, yes, you did. Remember, you were all ready to call it off after I was pregnant, but then the angel came, and now you're all misprotective.
You think I wasn't protective before?
Well,
I don't see what the whole problem is with me being excited about the Messiah just because you have some sort of weird hang-up about it?
Oh, you've noticed, have you?
Is this what you've been so upset about? That I'm paying attention to the baby instead of you? You are so narcissistic.
You don't know what the hell you're talking about.
You know I didn't want to have kids because the future looked so bad.
I know.
God, I'm so afraid. I get up sometimes in the early morning and this huge wave of terror just washes over me. It's... Did I do okay?
You did great.
Will I be a good parent?
You will.
I mean, I don't even know what they're trying to what they're trying to. There's nothing about the nativity message there,
and nothing that says family either. Not a good old-fashioned family Christmas show. No, it's totally crazy.
No, but what I really want, I mean, I understand the insanity of the people that are putting on the play. I understand the insanity of the pastors that run that kind of church or whatever. What I don't understand is the insanity of the people sitting in the church watching it and agreeing to it and with it.
Yeah. And there's a situation there in South Carolina where there's a nativity scene set up on a public property. And of course, they wanted to have it removed, saying, separation of church and state, which doesn't even show up in the Constitution. That's from a letter that Thomas Jefferson wrote, where he mentioned separation of church and state.
We go through. So it's a tired argument we go through every stinking year.
And in Arkansas, there was Arkansas. Sarah Huckabee Sanders, the governor there, declared a state holiday for Christmas, and there were people who were suing her. and didn't want the government to close or employees to be off for the holidays. And she basically told them to piss up a rope and suck the wet end, but she was going to do it anyway, you know?
I love that you worked that in. I love that euphemism. It's the best.
Isn't it a good one?
Piss up a rope
and suck the wet end.
I always love that when you bring that one out. It's the best. Well, the Scrooges at the Associated Press are doing their part to trying to ruin Christmas for everybody. Right. They wrote a big... you remember when the Associated Press used to just report the news, Alpha?
Just the news. That's it. Yeah.
Just the news.
Yeah.
And there really wasn't a slant to it. But now, opinion pieces are a big part of what the Associated Press does, hidden, disguised as news. So they wrote a big story. It came out this morning, the AP did, about how things like Christmas candles and fireplaces should not be used, or if at all, in extreme moderation, because they contribute to the decline of indoor air quality, and they contribute to global warming. And you know what I say to them? Why don't you piss on a rope and suck on the wet end?
There you go. They want to use that for the most ridiculous reasons. You hear John Kerry said we have to slow down farming because of global warming, or people are going to starve. Wait a minute. So we stop producing food.
What he's saying is, let me decode that for you.
Yeah.
That's liberal talk too. We need to starve to death a few billion people.
Right.
So that they're not creating so much global warming so the rest of us can survive.
And use global warming as an excuse. You got it. That's right.
That's exactly what he's saying, for those of you who can't decode that for yourself.
It's not law-abiding citizens. If that were the case, there's a lot of white men should be holding a lot of white men accountable for the crimes that they have committed. So I think it's asking us then, for every crime, which of course the majority being committed by white men, asking us to do more about that. I think it's crime in general.
By the way, I wanted to ask you, have you heard, is it just me, or has the Portuguese assassin and the MIT murder and Brown murder, is that just it's like full shutdown all of a sudden?
Sort of going away, yeah. They don't,
what?
Kind of faded out of the news.
We got our guy. Don't worry about it anymore.
Yeah.
And you read about this guy, this MIT guy, who apparently was the smartest guy in the world when it came to cold fusion. And the research that he was doing on fusion was cutting edge around the world, that they were getting real close at MIT. Of course, they've been saying that since when? 1960s?
Mm-hmm.
That cold fusion's right around the corner. If we get it, there's unlimited energy basically for free. And when you think about that, that means that a lot of people stand to lose. Number one, big oil, big gas, big coal,
big energy altogether.
Countries whose entire economy are tied to it, like Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, like pretty much all the Middle Eastern countries, Venezuela. They all stand to lose out because you're not going to need it anymore. If you could set up cold fusion, create unlimited, we could make electricity for the whole world, for very little money. So a lot of reasons to, like the church lady, a lot of reasons to not like this guy. And,
there is one related story. They have suspended that chief of police who had lied about his credentials. So he has been suspended.
The one at Brown?
Yes, he has been suspended pending review. They want to see what he is doing. In an energy-related story, too. Well, yeah,
review
exactly.
What?
It's not,
he had
not
false credentials, and he had the cameras off where the guy was killed. Yeah. What else do you need to know?
Yeah, energy-related story too. Though, in a executive order, the president has shut down 5 offshore windmill operations that were going to be in production. So those are gone, which I think there is a legitimate argument that they are harming uh, the ocean life, and in particular, killing whales. So, energy
I agree
related.
100%. I've read about that they kill birds.
Yeah.
They kill a lot of birds, and they kill a lot of whales. And I don't know about you, but I'm for the whales. I saw Free Willy, and ever since then, I'm totally on the whale side. No, I love whales. The most beautiful thing I ever saw in my life, I'll never forget it, 1987. I was in the middle of a giant, what do you call a giant pod
yeah.
of blue whales and their
wow.
calves for about 30 minutes. And it was the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. There were hundreds of them.
And a blue whale
we're
is the
talking
largest
animals
animal on the planet.
the size of tractor trailer trucks going through the water with little ones and big ones. And they were eating krill out in the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
And you're just like,
wow.
dumbfounded, and it was just the most amazing thing I've ever seen. But yeah, these windmills, they kill them. Not to mention the damage they do to the bottom of the ocean.
Right.
I mean, you've seen what they have to do on land to anchor one of those things. You know, they dig a 30-foot hole the size of a freaking football field, and they put hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of tons of steel rebar in it. And you know how much energy it takes to make that much steel? And then they fill it up with 30 feet of concrete. You know how much energy it takes to make concrete, the heat, gas that they use for that? And then they set up the windmill. And by the way, that turbine up there is loaded with fossil fuels to lubricate it. And the thing is, they tear up all the time.
And in order to start them, you have to have a diesel engine to get them going to begin with. So just as Tommy Norris, a.k.a. Billy Bob Thornton, told us, they will never in their lifetime make up for the energy that is consumed in order to build them.
If you've never seen that speech, I urge you to Google it on YouTube and watch that speech. It's great. But what I can't figure out is, you know, if this thing's just a generator, I can't figure out why they can't just replace the generator. Why they have to tear them down and then, you know, they always say, have you ever seen those propellers, what they have to do with them?
They're enormous.
They have to bury them. Why can't they reuse them on another windmill? Or
apparently the what goes into making them is toxic. So it's nothing that can actually be absorbed safely into the soil.
No, but what I'm saying is, when the windmill itself tears up, I am assuming the generator goes bad, right? Like you got a turbine, this thing's turned. So I'm assuming, why can't they replace the generator and just use the same blades over and over and over? Or if they can't replace it, why can't they take those blades and put them on another one that they're building?
So many questions.
Instead, they dig big holes in the ground and bury them.
Yeah.
Which I don't get. Are they made of carbon fiber?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Well, I don't know what they're made of, but I know that they are not compatible with the soil. So when they do bury them, they have to make special arrangements.
What kind of arrangements?
They're
put a layer of plastic down.
They have to have a service, you know. And I'm not sure. I just know
they have to have. Oh, I know what it is. I know. I'll bet it's Halliburton. Halliburton has to come out. They have to stop work in the oil field and come out and put down some protective barrier that they invented for oil to protect the ground from the green stuff, something like that.
Yeah. But the crazy part is the very people who are touting the benefits of windmills are the very people who years ago were wearing shirts and carrying signs saying "Save the whale." So you can't have it both ways.
Yeah.
You know, you can't have these things
Apparently
and saving the whales too.
Yeah, apparently they can.
Yeah, they can.
They can have it both ways. Not only that, you know, they're trying to get rid of farming. Now they want to get rid of your damn dogs. Because Alpha sent me this video of these wackos. They want the joy of a lot of things you do with your dog without having to actually have the dog.
Una práctica en la que personas salen a pasear con correas, pero sin un perro real. Se presenta como una alternativa para amantes de los animales que no quieren gastos veterinarios, pelos en casa, ladridos ni recoger excrementos. Tampoco existen problemas de agresividad ni ansiedad por separación. El fenómeno ha generado burlas y escepticismo en redes sociales, pero incluso ya existen entrenadores profesionales que enseñan a caminar y entrenar perros imaginarios como ejercicio.
What do you think she's saying? These people are crazy as a bag of rocks.
Well, I think I heard her say excrementos, so that was something about shit. So I don't know. Maybe she was saying they're crazy as
She's
shit.
saying these people should piss on the rope and suck on the wet end, as far as I'm concerned. This is a crazy thought. What kind of idiots are there?
Well, they remind me of these people who do the hobby horse thing, with the horse on a stick, and they go running and jumping over these things. I mean, it's a mental illness. I'm telling you.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Now, my son, he's real into motorcycles. He does these trials, bikes and stuff. I sent him one. It's a funny one. It's like the hobby horse, but it's a hobby motorcycle. It's a stick with a little seat on it, and they run through the woods and jump over logs and go, like they're riding motorcycles. I swear, I kid you not. Oh, he about died laughing at that one.
On here crying because he didn't tell you he had a little pecker. I mean, it just seems so silly that she would put this on TikTok about the man with the little pecker. Know that the man had a little pecker. He never explained it. Y'all, this is why people get the dementia, because it's too much. Too much of this y'all going on the internet. You can't even have it like a nice little day till you come up on here and little pecker show up. To pecker or not to pecker is the question.
Well, we do have an emergency news update here today from the Villages. This just poured into the Jack Murphy Podcast News Center. The clock is ticking, Alpha, in regard to a couple's illicitly painted driveway down at the Villages at their home.
Oh, boy.
Stanway Change and Kanji Q are the owners of a home. They may not even be married. They might be shacking up at the Villages. I'm surprised that's not against the rules. They live at 1127 Southern Sun Drive. I tried to reach out to them via social media, but I guess they're not on the Facebook or the Talk. They're not progressive like we are. But anyway, they were subject to a deed compliance case that was heard day before yesterday by Special Master. Now, don't you know this guy's got some pull at the Villages? If you're the Special Master, Terry Neal, a complaint was received back in September regarding their driveway, which had, get ready for it, been painted light gray.
Okay.
Without approval of the Architectural Review Committee.
Right.
Now, if you've ever spent any time in Florida, you go down there, but half the homes in Florida have painted the concrete light gray so it will reflect sun and not get so hot so you don't burn the soles of your feet off. Now, the homeowners did try to retroactively win the ARC's approval with an application, but it was denied by the Special Master. Now, they let people do that all over the Villages, but you've got to get a permit before you can do it so they can get their $137 or whatever. So the couple now has 45 days to have the paint removed, or they have to go through a petition process and get 75% of their neighbors to sign off on the painted driveway. So you got to go door to door.
Yeah.
And ask people to sign a petition saying, hey, would you sign this so I don't have to strip my driveway and start over?
Well, if you've ever dealt with a homeowners association and had a situation like that, I have too. I painted the trim on my house, and I went to the site and got one of the approved colors. This was an approved color by the homeowners association. I went and had it done, but because I didn't go to them first and ask them if I could paint it the approved color, they were going to force me to have to go back and require their permission to repaint. So I would have
do
to
it.
paint it
Yeah,
twice.
they get on such a freaking power trip. It's unbelievable. There are some, I think they're AI. There's some pretty funny AI videos. In fact, we played a video a few weeks ago where they're at an HOA meeting and the guy says, it's burnt sienna. It's not burnt sienna. That is, he's showing these two colors and they look identical. Well, anyway, if the couple fails to bring the property into compliance within 45 days, they face an immediate $150 fine, followed by $50 fines for each day.
Right.
And eventually, they could lose their home if they don't pay all these fines. So that concludes our emergency news update here on the Jack Murphy Podcast, a podcast for fit old people. That's not correct yet, but I'll remember what I said a few days ago someday. But anyway, we keep you up to date on what's happening down at the village because that's really the epicenter of old people.
And one day we may all wind up there.
Just hear those sleigh bells jingling-a-ring-a-ting-a-ting-a-ling-a-too. Ring-a-ling-a-ling-a-ting-a-ling-a-ting. Come on, it's lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with a
But we wish all of you a very, very Merry Christmas. Be safe. Don't drink and drive. It's not worth it. Even if you get stuck in a Waymo that goes nowhere, it's better than being in jail. Did you see the power go out in San Francisco and all the Waymos got stuck?
I did. They, I mean, it's
they had no GPS, so they just all stopped.
One of the trade-offs when you give your life to AI.
That's exactly right. But anyway, have a great Christmas Eve and a great Christmas if we don't see you here on the Jack Murphy Podcast. But we'll be back and as we draw nigh to the end of the year, we are only 4 subscribers away from 300, Alpha. Only 4. We need 4. Right. So my goal is by the end of the year, let's get up to 300 subscribers. So go down below, subscribe, like the video, and we'll see you in the next couple of days here on the Jack Murphy Podcast.
Merry Christmas.
Thanks for watching the Jack Murphy Podcast. Remember to like, subscribe, and ring that bell. Go ahead, ring it. Get alerts when a new episode drops, and tell your friends about the Jack Murphy Podcast. But only the cool friends, please. Tune in next time for another episode of the Jack Murphy Podcast.